My name is Floyd Alonzo Mario Smith. I was born at Elders Health Center in St. Elizabeth. Grew up for about the first 3 years of my life. I spent at the district of Thornton, St. Elizabeth as well. And then, from there went to Williamsfield and then to Silo. Growing up was fun. It was 6 of us, 3 boys, 3 girls, mommy and daddy, grandfather, grandmother, uncles. So it was a nice family setting, 7 day and all. So growing up was really fun. Spent, get a bond with brothers and sisters. It was really fun. I spent a year or 2 at the Thornton Basic School and then went to Silo Primary. Did 5 years at primary school. I started out very young and very energetic and well. When I was in 5th grade at Silo Primary, I passed, my common entrance at the time it was, and went to Monroe College. I spent 5 years at Monroe College as well, board. I lived there, very cold, but I lived there for 5 years. Those are some very major, years of my life. So education-wise, for me, I was provided and granted with good opportunity where education is concerned, yes. Being that when I leave Monroe College, I was like 15, 16 years old, when I left school and I was at home, and, the principal at Silo Primary School at the time thought it would be wise, to ask me to join the staff as a pre-trained teacher. So right away, I was placed into a working situation. Teacher was on maternity leave. I was at that school for about a year and a half, 2 years, teaching, getting the title of Mr. at 16, It was fun. I like it. I used to tell children, like, Mr. Smith, make me sound old, but it sounds good at the same time. After teaching there, I worked with Jamaica Statistical Institute as an agricultural census interviewer. I did that it was roughly for a year at different areas and interviewed persons as it relates to agriculture and farming. So I did that. When I was through with that, I went to Hart. I did a year at Hart. I was elected as a student council president at Hart, and I got the Hart Skill is Power trophy. That was our best overall performance, both academically and sports-wise. I did well at Hart. After Hart, I went to Mandeville now, where I was in a working situation, working at Rhino Marketing. We did outdoor sales, door-to-door sales as well. I did that for some time. After that, I left that. I got promoted to assistant manager. Operated an office in Portland, and then after that, now I decided to, take on things on my own and started my own business, something of the same merchandising, and that's what I still do until this day. My intention was to set up and it was at the time, and it still is, to set up a chain of business that do marketing and sales, where we train persons to do sales and also, provide them with opportunity to run their own business. But the business has been going on great. The thing about it was that when I was doing it at Rhino Marketing, also back then when I was doing it for myself, the thing about it was that trust me, that's me feel. That's where I mean, like, that business teach me so much. So doing it now, back again, not with sight, it's like I have learned all the things not to do, in business. So right now it's even better, because going to Jamaica Society for the Blind and studying, and then come back now to do this is like I feel like I am Superman. I can now travel to Kingston from St. Elizabeth by myself, go and purchase my goods at the store, and come back, go on the road sometime by myself, and and do my promotions sometime with family help as well, so it is very, very, very good. And the thing about it, I love interacting with people, because the merchandising business, it does not only allow you to sell somebody a product, but it also allows you to be a very good communicator, and it allows you to actually reach people and meet people and bond with people. I mean, like my customers, everybody who I stop by and present my merchandise, so I mean, they remember me until to the day, because I'm going to make a difference, So it was really just fun for me meeting people every day and making them laugh and giving me the money. The loss of my sight actually developed from HIV. I was diagnosed with HIV in 2015, 16, somewhere there. I was diagnosed. So what happened was that it started to affect the eye. But by the time it started to affect the eye, it's like it just happened like boom. I mean, I woke up one morning and I feel a pain in one of my eye, the right eye. I feel a pain. When I went to the bathroom to wash my face and I look in the mirror, I saw it was red. I was like, whoa. Anyway, I was at my sister's house at this time now in Manchester, at my sister's house, because I got ill while in Kingston, so I had to come home. So I was at my sister's house. So she worked at the Mandeville Hospital at the Vision Care Center. She works there. I brought it to her attention and she said, you know what, you should go and check out that eye. I went down to the clinic to check out the eye, and I realized that it was CMV retinitis. That is cytomegaloretinitis. And what they were saying is that it needed to be attended to urgently because it can spread to the other eye. So, we've actually found the price for the medication was very expensive. Never had the money for that at all, because by then money, sickness and hospital and all that money taken up, and it was just a time when we just flat. My sister was trying to get some assistance from the hospital, to deal with the medication. It was taking some time, and I called one of my former high school member, and he is a eye doctor. I called him and he said that, he said, come on, let me look at the eye. I went up in Kingston, he looked at the eye and he said, this is urgent, you need to deal with it now because you're going to spread to the other eye. You understand? And I realized at that time too, when I looked down, I could only see when I looked down. When I looked up, I couldn't see anything in one of the eye. So I realized that, this one of them was going by now. And he couldn't deal with it, so he referred me to a specialist. I went to the specialist, he referred me to UE. I went to UE, and I was at UE there. I did 4 minor operations. And that was injection in both of the eyes, because by this time now the both eyes were, because I wasn't getting through the medication and thing in time. So through my brethren now, I got in contact and went to UE and was dealing with. But the eyes were actually going. I was seeing, but one of them was really bad. I was seeing through one of them. Now, at this time, I was taking my medication, but the medication was not working. It was not working because all I'm going to the doctor keeps saying, then how? The eye, nah. I have to take the medication. Sure you're taking the medication? Because I'm doing the operations, and sometimes the eye seem to come up and sometimes it seem to go down. They keep fluctuating. So they're assuming that I was not taking medication. I was taking medication, but the medication was not reacting. But it was not responding to it. So I did 4 minor operations. I was supposed to do a series of operations. I did 4, and when I went back to the 5th one, they told me that the medication that they had expired. and they never had any more in the island, and they would have to try and source it from overseas. In the window of waiting, it just got dim, and ploops, light out, you know. So after several trips to Kingston, I mean, like money to charter a vehicle to buy gas to put in the vehicle to Kingston, back to Manila. Sometime there from 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometime I'm reaching home 10, 11 o'clock in the night, you know. But with all of that, I was optimistic. I was not traumatized. I was focused. I was conscious. And I even look at my mother and say, Mommy, you see, if I lose my eyes now, I have to give thanks. If I don't get to see for the rest of my life, I give thanks. You know why? I get to see for 40 years. Some people never get to see the light of day. You understand? And when I realized it was getting really like, they were foggy, I was like, you know, I started setting my mind like, all right, how am I going to move on from here if this should happen? You know, I started to set my mind already. And not that it never affected me, you know, because I'm not a Superman, but I never allow it to hold me down like that, you know. And one of the reasons was that the reason for this is because of the work that I was doing before. Doing the sales on the road and dealing with so much people every day and dealing with negatives, I realized from then how much attitude is important and how much mindset is important. So I had that in me. So I just transferred what I learned on the road right then and there with the situation. You understand? So I never let it keep me down at all. You know, but I stayed focused. I think I laid in bed for like a week or two, just after losing sight. You know, Mom would bring food to me in my room, and you know, only thing when I go and bed, you know, and I would just go and bed and you know go back in the room and stuff. And then I say, no man, I said no, man, I have to get up out of bed, man. But with that, I got up, and you know what I start though? I go to the kitchen and say, you know what, Mommy, let me start help you wash your plate then. I must can do something. I get up and start trying to do things. I go and wash the plate and I realize I wash it, and when I pack them up, and you know, my stepdad said, what? Yes, Floyd, the show you now see? Where you pack them up now when your mother pack them up, man? So you know, I was like, oh, we can do things, man. You know, and I start sweeping up my room. I get up and start exercising in the morning. I remember I was so weak. The first morning I get up and try to do some push-up. I did 5 and bust. Right now I had a 40 push-up easy. You know, so I'm just saying it takes work, but I never allowed it to deflect or to keep me down. Because I've learned some great lessons through this experience with both the HIV situation with this eye thing here. And I've learned so much. Well, Jamaica Society for the Blind. I know about Jamaica Society for the Blind. Before, I was on the road, I was doing sales. So I foot sales me at the door to door. So I used to walk up Old Hope Road and I would always see that a wall. And on the wall it write, the worst thing is to be born with sight but like vision or something like that. And I see that thing and I always read it and I was like, whoa. Always I read it, and every time I read it, it does something to me, and I was like, this is so true. You know? So that's how I know about Jamaica Society for the Blind, you know? So I know it was there. So when I got blind, I contacted Jamaica Society for the Blind. That the first time when I got blind, that was like the first year. I got the contact through Floyd Morris. He worships at a church where one of my mother's friend who is a pastor worship. So you know, through him we got the number to Jamaica Society for the Blind. So he was the one who tell us to go through Jamaica Society for the Blind. But I know about Jamaica Society for the Blind, but he was the one who referred us there, you know. So I called, and I was now in Manchester now. I called, and what I was interested in was boarding, because I called and asked if it's a boarding institution. They said no, I would have to be in Kingston. So you know, I could not. I could not at the time. I never had anyone in Kingston to stay with. So I had to wait, and it was like 2 or 3 years after, you know, that I tried again. I had an uncle. I have an uncle in Kingston, and he was available for me to stay. And I went up and I came to class. Actually, I called one of my friends. Yeah, he's a principal at Magati, and he referred me to one Jermaine Barrett, who is a past student. And I spoke to Jermaine, and Jermaine referred me to his supervisor, Mr. McLean. Mr. McLean spoke to me, and I was interested in starting my own business, starting up my business again. Mr. McLean convinced me that, it's better if you come do the program up here, because we have a very good rehabilitation program up here. And after that, you can go and do your business. And I said, yes, I'm going to do that. That sounds good. And I come up and I spoke to Miss Bratton as well. I was asking about the CSC classes. And I came up and I did it. And I'm not sorry. Listen, being at Jamaica Society for the Blind is like, I'm going to say it this way. It's like a second chance. I got a second chance in life to live life again. I think the way how I was living my life with my sight, I was living life blindly with sight. Being blind, it threw me back into myself. And, being at Jamaica Society for the Blind is like it gave me a new start. It's like, okay, me get a chance to do this again. And I'm going to do it this time without sight, but I'm going to do it better. Because my goals now are bigger than the goals I had when I had sight. So Jamaica Society for the Blind has really, really empowered and motivated. It made me feel like I can do anything. The training I got from Mrs. Wallace, right now, I feel like a king. I left out of my yard when I'm ready, gone at home, gone buy my goods, and, go up on the road and do my work and come back and cook my food and clean my house and, weed up my yard and wash my plate and iron my clothes and I do all the things, do my things. So, yes, man, feel like a king. Thank you, Jamaica Society for the Blind, man. Thank you. You're doing a great job. Man. And for me, I'm looking right now for persons in my era who are challenged in this way and introduce them to the society, because I know that a lot of people out there who have good brain, and if they got the opportunity and the chance, they can become something, not just locked up in the house because they're blind. And I'm saying now, anywhere in the world you are, within the hearing of my voice here, I'm saying, if you are a person who is blind or visually impaired or even with sight, because I'm going to tell you, Jamaica Society for the Blind also have a vision care center. You don't want to wait till the eye go, where you can come and get checks up. And I will tell anybody with sight, go and check your eyes. Do it yearly. You see, because your eyes, it doesn't give you any warning. At times, it just go. You understand? So you want to keep checking your eyes. So you look like everything all right now, but you don't know. Just keep checking your eyes. And I'm saying for those persons who are blind and visually impaired, wherever you are, listen. If you can get the chance to attend the Jamaica Society for the Blind, please do. Please do. Because why? What Jamaica Society for the Blind does is that it allows you to regain your independence. You understand what I'm saying? It allows you to regain your independence because, one, you can learn a lot of different skill sets. You can come and you can do your CXC classes. You understand? And it's like Jamaica Society for the Blind give you a foundation. That's what it does. It gives you a foundation for you now to build on. So if you're in the hearing of my voice, man, you're blind, you're visually impaired, there is a place where you can go to give yourself a second chance. And don't fall into the pittyness thing, where you're handing out your hand. No. Society for the Blind can allow you to contribute to society. Because we don't want to be stretching our hand all the time. We want to be giving back as well. You understand? Jamaica Society for the Blind, for me, I see Jamaica Society for the Blind normalizing persons who are challenged in this way, in society, making us become a part of society. So yes, man, take a shot at it. You're not going to lose. You're not going to be sorry. I could not come and speak and don't give thanks, because gratitude is where everything develops from. You understand? Gratitude attracts everything. Yes, man. So I would definitely want to just give a big shout out and a big thank you to the society itself. I want to single out some persons as well. Mr. McLean, the chairman. Yes, I mean, yes, he was very instrumental. I was planning to come there, but I mean, speaking to him and just the way how he, reach out to me. Yes, give the thanks to Mr. McLean. Definitely I want to give thanks as well, to Mr. Harris, who has lent, his time, the executive director. As a person who, from day one, I always, was inquiring to speak to Mr. Harris. But I realized Mr. Harris is a very busy man, but I give thanks. I give thanks, man, for Mr. Harris and the work that he's doing. I mean, sometimes, you're doing nothing and, don't watch the backlash that, you will get. Keep doing your work, but know that you're doing your work from your heart. You understand? Once you're doing your work from your heart, man, yes, you're good to go. People are gonna talk all they wanna talk, but keep doing your work. Mrs. Brathwaite, my, they call her the heavyweight. Yes. I have to give thanks to Miss Brathwaite, my computer instructor. Me call Miss Brathwaite the server. She teaches computers. She's like the server. She just download information to us, man. I mean, in a way that we have to remember it. Thank you very much. Mrs. Wallace, my orientation and mobility instructor. Yes, on the road with me, have me walk into half a tree and back and doing a lot of stuff. This Wallace, man. Yes, and she never babied me. I love that. Miss Wallace not baby people. I love that, man. So right now I feel so good. I can take up my cane and I can go anywhere I want to go. I have my visa. All right, yes. I have to give thanks again to Mr. Gordon. Yes, I'm not in the CXC class, but yes, we have our reason. Mr. Lawson, my braille instructor. Mr. Hasley, who is a volunteer, helps us with braille. Miss Morris, Miss Inez, Swaby around the back, Errol. I can't leave out the DJ. Because honestly, Damien, when I called and I spoke to Damien on the phone, just the whole way the man talked me, I said, no, man, this man, the brother just light. He just light, I feel the energy. And that energy like just pull you, to see a person who is without sight just operating in that, it's just phenomenal, man. Thank you very much, Yami. You guys have empowered me to be the person who I am today, so definitely, man, my classmates as well, just big up to everyone. Thank you very much. Keep doing the work that you're doing. You're doing a great work. Yes, I see, and you see too where there are improvements to be made. Yes, we all see that. We all see that there are things to be put into place, but for right now, let us keep doing what we're doing. We're doing a great job, and we are going to keep rising the standard, and we are going to keep evolving, and taking our rightful place as human beings on planet Earth. Yes, thank you all.
This has been a production of the JSB Library.